It has been a remarkable week at Flemington. We saw Ace High win the Amy Victoria Derby, Rekindling win the greatest race of all, the Emirates Melbourne Cup, and Pinot win the Kennedy Oaks for Gay. Attention now turns to the final day of the Melbourne Cup Carnival, Emirates Stakes Day. Stay tuned for my preview of the feature race right here on Bevo B5 Productions. Hello racing fans, welcome to my preview of the 2017 Emirates Stakes, the final feature race of the Melbourne Cup Carnival. In this preview I'll go through the chances in some depth, the whole field and odds, the speed map, my tips and my roughie. So let's get straight into it. Happy Clapper won the Group 1 Epsom Handicap over the 1600 metre distance at Royal Randwick 3 starts ago. Last start it came 6th in the Group 1 Cox Plate over the 2040 metres at Moonee Valley. Blake Shin comes back on and he has a pretty good record on this horse, finishing in the top 3 11 times out of 13 starts. The horse hasn't won at the 2000 metre trip in its 6 attempts. It didn't win its first and only attempt at Flemington, which was in this race last year where it came 9th. It somewhat won the Group 1 Doncaster Handicap over 1600 metres at Royal Randwick in the autumn. Came 3rd in the Crystal Mile over 1600 metres at Moonee Valley last start. Steps up to the 2000 metre trip and has won twice over the distance out of 8 attempts. Gailo Chop impressed 2 starts back by winning the Group 1 Caulfield Stakes over the 2000 metre distance. It came 5th in the Cox Plate last start. It won this race in 2015, which is its only win at Flemington so far. It has a decent record at the 2000 metre trip, winning 6 times out of 10. Tosen Stardom won the Group 1 Toorak Handicap over 1600 metres at Caulfield 2 starts ago. Ran on Derby Day and came 8th over the same distance in the Kennedy Mile. Steps up to the 2000 metre trip where it has won 1 and came 2nd in 1 from 4 attempts. Has never won at Flemington from 2 attempts. Tom Melbourne has come 2nd 5 times in its last 6 races. Incredible. This includes 2nd in the Epsom and last start in the Kennedy Mile. Has had 7 cracks at the 2000 metre trip that has resulted in 2 wins and 1 second place. Came 3rd on Emirates Stakes Day last year in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes over 2600 metres. Folkswood has been impressive since arriving in Australia. It won the Cranbourne Cup over 2,000 plus metres first up and then a 3rd to Winks and Humidor in the Cox Plate. It has had 4 attempts at the 2000 metre distance where it has won 1, 2nd in 2 and 3rd in 1. First time at Flemington. Gingernuts returns to Australia but comes to Melbourne for the first time. It won the Group 1 Rose Hill Guineas over 2,000 metres in the autumn. Has good 2,000 metre form, winning 1 and placing in 1 out of 2 attempts. Has won twice on a good track from 3 attempts. Michael D takes the ride for the first time. The stakes has been the main target for this horse since the decision was made not to run in the Caulfield Cup. Odeon has to back up from its win over the 1800 metre trip on Melbourne Cup Day. Has won 1 out of the 2 over the 2000 metre distance. This horse has won its last 2 races with Chris Simons on board. He keeps the ride. Semaver has finished in the top 3 9 times in its last 10 races. Came 2nd in the Naturalism over 2,000 metres at Caulfield 3 starts back, and then last start came 2nd again over the 2,000 metre trip in the Coongie Cup at Moonee Valley. Could only come 7th in the Group 1 Underwood Stakes over 1,800 metres at Caulfield 2 starts ago, but is still an in-form 4-year-old mare. Cliff Edge is 3 years old, making it the youngest horse in this race. Dominated by 2.75 lengths 2 starts ago in the N. Robertson over 2,000 metres on Caulfield Cup Day. Has good form coming into this race, but it will be its first against horses of all ages. Time now to have a look at the full field and odds for the Group 1 Emirates Stakes over the 2,000 metre distance. Race 8 on the racing program, by the way. And of course, it will get underway at 4:55 p.m. at Flemington on Saturday. You can watch it all on 7racing.com and Sky Racing 1 as per usual. And no surprise, Folkswood is the favourite at around $5.50. Gingernuts is the next best at $6.50. At $7.50, we have the youngest horse in the race, Cliff Edge. Gailo Chop is at $8. At $8.50, Happy Clapper. Tosen Stardom is at $12. At $14, we have Tom Melbourne. Likes to break hearts, this horse, by coming second all the time. That's a fair assessment of Tom Melbourne, I'm sure. It's Somewhat is backed by the punters at $20. At $21, we have Odin. At $23, which I think is a good price for this horse, Samovar, a really in-form horse in my opinion, at $23. A really good price there. Harlem at $26. The Tal Mahaj is at $34. At $41, we have Sosibon. Sense of Occasion is at $51. Sir Isaac Newton has been scratched from the Group 1 Emirates Stakes on Saturday. Time now to have a look at the speed map. No surprise that Cliff's Edge will be the likely leader early. Could lead for most of the race, I'm sure. You can see that Folkswood and Tom Melbourne will look to go forward from the wide gates they have. You can see Gingernuts there just on the outside. Gailo Chop looks like it will be towards the front early as well. You can see the horses on the inner there on the speed map. So that is the speed map there. Cliff's Edge, no surprise that will lead early. That's, the prediction anyway, and I'm sure that's how the race will pan out. Of course, Cliff Edge being a lightweight will probably lead early. Time now for my Emirates Stakes tips. And I'm going to go number 10, Gingernuts, the New Zealand horse to win the 2017 Emirates Stakes. Have been really impressed with this horse. Really liked its run in the autumn. The first time we saw it in Australia, where it won the Group 1 Rosehill Guineas over the 2,000 metre distance at Rosehill. Couldn't quite back up in the ATC Derby at Group 1 level. The race after that, a Randwick, it was a bit too far back and ended up coming 5th. But it's been in good form this prep. Came 5th first up over the 1,400 metres. Stepped up to the 1,600 metres beautifully and won the Windsor Park at Group 1 level. Couldn't quite win. Came second last start over the 2,040 metre distance in a Group 1 race where it only lost by 0.1 of a length. But this is the main target for this horse. It has a good 2,000 metre record. And I guess the only little query for me is Opie Bossum, its regular jockey, isn't on board. Michael D takes the ride. It's going to be interesting to see how Michael D performs on the horse. And also the little query as well for me is that it's coming to Flemington for the first time, and it's going to be interesting to see how it handles the big track of Flemington. But I think it will do fine. I really like its speed down the straight. And Gingernuts for me, this has been the main target. I think it's going to successfully win the Emirates Stakes. Of course, was supposed to come over for the Caulfield Cup, didn't end up panning out that way. It comes over for the Emirates Stakes. I think it's going to have a beautiful ride. It is fresh, and we saw Rekindling win the Melbourne Cup earlier in the week. That was fresh. Pinot was somewhat fresh in the Oaks. Ace High was actually somewhat fresh in the Derby as well. The Spring Champion Stakes, that ride in between that ride and the Derby was a pretty big break as well. So I think the bigger break for Gingernuts is going to play in its advantage, and I think it's going to win the 2017 Emirates Stakes. So Gingernuts first for me. I've gone Folkswood second. Most definitely, this horse has been in great form, has been impressive since it arrived in Australia, winning the Cranbourne Cup and then coming third to Winks and Humidor in the Cox Plate. Does have a relatively good record at the 2,000 metre trip. I think it's going to do well. The wide barrier is a little bit of a concern for me. but it does have a bit of time to sort itself out, get itself in position, and I think it'll do well. I think it'll come second and finish quite close to Gingernuts down the straight. So Folkswood is second for me. Gailo Chop is third for me. A Darren Weir trained horse, of course, has won 6 times at the 2,000 metre trip. Won this race a couple of years ago when it actually wasn't on Stakes Day. It was actually on Derby Day, of course. This is the Mackinnon, and this concept came in last year where the Mackinnon was named the Emirates Stakes and ran on Stakes Day. So it won a couple of years ago on Derby Day in this same race. Comes back for a second crack at this race. Hasn't won at Flemington since. It actually ran in the Maccabi Diva a few starts back and came fourth over the 1,600 metre. Is suited, though, I reckon, to this sort of distance. I think it will do well with John Allen on board. And it's going to come third for me. And then fourth, I've gone Cliff Edge, the 3-year-old, the youngest horse in the race, who has a really light weight. Wouldn't be surprised to see this horse win it all, because it does have a real light weight, and with real light weight can come really good speed, and I think it will lead early and could even get a good lead on the other horses. But I think it's gonna be ran down. I think, of course, this is a bit of a test for Cliff Edge, because of course this is the first race it's ran with a variety of ages and older horses, so it is going to be a bit of a test for it. I think it's going to do well. I think it's going to be like Royal Symphony and the Cox Plate. I think it's going to run fourth in the Emirates Stakes and do well. So that is my top 4. Gingernuts first, Folkswood second, Gailo Chop third, and Cliff's Edge, the 3-year-old, at fourth. Let's go on and have a look at my roughie. And for my roughie, I've gone number 14, Semaver, who is a Hayes and Deboneg trained horse. Barrier 13, has finished in the top 3 9 times in its last 10 starts, which is pretty impressive, and you can't ignore that form. I know that it was 7th in the Underwood at Group 1 level, but it has come second at this distance 2 times out of the 2 attempts, and has also come second. Both those 2 second places was at Flemington. So this horse, I think, is in very good form. I think it's at $23 on the market. And with Dwayne Dunn on board, it's also got a lightweight as well. I wouldn't be surprised if this horse finishes in the top 4 or thereabouts, because this horse looks in good form and can take it up to the older horses and the more informed horses in this race, because it does look in form itself. So the only little query is that it hasn't actually won at the 2,000 metre distance, but stranger things have happened, I suppose, in racing, and I think this horse, could be up there, in my opinion. Time now to have a look at the rest of the racing program on Emirates Stakes Day. There is another Group 1 on Stakes Day. It is the Darley Classic over the 1,200 metres down the straight at Flemington, race 7 on the card, and it is going to be a beauty race. It includes some great horses such as Chautauqua, Redzel, who won the Everest a few weeks ago, Vega Magic, and plenty of other great horses. It is going to be a fantastic race, so you won't want to miss that. There's also some other great races on this day as well, including one Group 2, 2 Group 3s, and a listed race to finish off the Melbourne Cup Carnival. It is a great day, Emirates Stakes Day, a great day to finish off the Melbourne Cup Carnival. It always has been a great way to finish off the carnival, and looking forward to the racing card. 2 Group 1s, 2 Group 3s, 1 Group 2, 1 listed race. Fantastic day. And that is it for my preview of the 2017 Emirates Stakes. Thank you very much for watching. Of course, if you want to hear more of my tips from Emirates Stakes Day, then make sure you head over to my Twitter, twitter.com/beverb5 on race day. All my tips will be there for Emirates Stakes Day before every race. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Also, subscribe for more content. I'll be doing some more horse racing previews over the next couple of weeks and into next year as we get closer to autumn. In fact, I'm planning to do a zipping classic preview next week as part of a big race race meeting coming up at Sandown. Of course, I'm planning to do some of the Group 1s coming up in Perth in the next couple of weeks as well. And then, of course, I'm planning to do some other sport previews such as cricket, Sydney to Hobart, you name it. It will be here right on the Bevo B5 Productions channel. So make sure you press that subscribe button. That is the best way to stay up to date with what I do. You can also check out my live stream, my weekly live stream every Sunday, 8 p.m. at facebook.com/thebevshow. It is an interactive live stream where I talk sport and the things I love, answer comments, answer Snapchats. There's a few funny segments as well on the show. It is a great way to spend your Sunday night, so make sure you head on over every Sunday, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, and like the page as well to support the show. So I hope you're back a winner on Emirates Stakes Day, and until next time, bye for now.